The Cleveland Cavaliers finally got some great news heading into their game against the Philadelphia 76ers. For once, they were nearly completely healthy, and it was actually the 76ers that came into the game fatigued. We got to see this Cavaliers offense at full force, and man did those throwback jerseys look good. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the long-awaited return of Darius Garland and how he instantly made this offense flow so much better. Obviously, I will be recapping the win. Donovan Mitchell had 46 points. There's a lot to get into in this one. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds. Plus, you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 60,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so we got to start out with Donovan Mitchell because he continued his tear last night. The 76ers had absolutely no answer for him. He really looked like a man on a mission, and that came from a kid trash talking him on 2K. I know it sounds almost like a joke, but that seriously is where Donovan found his motivation last night. In his post-game interview, Donovan said, "This kid pissed me off today. I was playing 2K, I played it for like 2 hours, and I told him, I was like, wait, just wait. And he just called me washed up, he called me a bunch of things, but I love it. He said he hadn't seen a highlight from me in a minute, and I just told him, alright, we'll see. This game was for that kid or grown man, whoever that was, so I appreciate you." As someone who played 2K myself and was borderline addicted through high school, and especially during the pandemic, I completely get it. Those game chats were wild. But it is funny to hear a guy like Donovan Mitchell say a little kid motivated him to go off. If I was that kid, I would have bet the over on Donovan immediately after, because for it being the regular season, he played from the opening tip with the tenacity of a big playoff game. Donovan Mitchell finished the game with 46 points, he grabbed 4 rebounds, he had 8 assists, so he was distributing the ball around as well. You could just tell having Garland out there took a lot of the pressure off him in terms of running the offense. So Donovan really was just able to focus on his game and making plays for himself and also others, rather than bringing the ball down the court every time and worrying about the plays and stuff like that. And let's talk about Darius Garland, because it was great to see him back out there. It's been a long journey, a long road back for him, and he has just dealt with so much over these past 2 years in terms of injuries. Obviously, for these first few weeks, Kenny Atkinson is going to ease him into things in terms of the minutes. There's going to be a restriction. He played 26 minutes in last night's game and had 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. He was +5 in terms of plus minus. He struggled from the field, but again, it was the presence and how he changes the pace of this offense, similar to Lonzo Ball, that was the biggest key. And I know Lonzo has not figured out things offensively yet, he's not in a rhythm, but there is no denying his impact. I think when you pair Garland's offense with Lonzo's defense and pace, and you interchange them throughout the game, that is a recipe for success. In his post-game interview, Darius Garland had quite a few things to say. He said, "It was great to be back with my teammates. Those are my guys, and just being around them makes me happy. Seeing the energy in the arena and the intros, I was definitely dog tired out there. It has been like 6 to 7 months. I will be trying to get my wind back, and from there, I will just let the chips fall in place." I think I'd just be beating a dead horse by saying that the Cavs' ceiling this year is heavily dependent on the health and success of Darius Garland. The offense has suffered dramatically in the postseason when Garland has not been 100%. You don't want Donovan Mitchell to have to run the offense. That takes away unnecessary energy. You want Donovan focused on scoring and playmaking. That's what he's best at. You want Garland being the one to take the ball up and down the floor and running the plays. So Garland is definitely somebody I am going to be watching closely the rest of the season. Even if his stats suffer, he needs to be most worried about health over anything. I know fans get frustrated across the NBA with all the rest days and how much guys are getting paid and they don't show up, but at the end of the day, the times have changed. The postseason is now the most important thing. So for Garland, I'm not even going to be looking at the stats. I'm more looking at how the offense looks when he is on the floor. Alright, now moving on, I want to talk more about the game itself in the win over the 76ers. The Cavs started off this game on fire. You could tell the boost they had just with everyone being there. I even just think mentally this team had a boost internally. Sam Merrill provided a spark to this offense. This really is becoming more than just a cool story. The front office made the right decision on keeping Sam Merrill. It did suck to lose Ty Jerome, but they definitely made the right decision. I think this is a permanent thing. Merrill is going to be one of the top 3-point shooters in the NBA this year. I love the way he can make the tough ones. It doesn't matter if he's on the move. A defender pretty much has to be glued to him at all times. Sam Merrill finished the game with 14 points on 66% shooting and he was 4 of 5 from behind the three-point line, so 80% from there. Obviously, you will take that every single time. And like I said, 14 points is really what you can expect him to be now. That is the type of player he is becoming, and he's also very underrated defensively. He is a real focal point of this offense, and someone that you can actually talk about when you're talking about this team. I also was very happy with how Jarrett Allen performed in this game. Going into this one, this was the type of matchup where you circled his name because Joel Embiid was out. I know I have heavily criticized Jarrett Allen, especially recently, so it has to go both ways. I have to give him props when he deserves it as well. Tonight he had a 24-point double-double with 10 rebounds, and what was even more impressive was the 3 blocks and the 3 steals. That is a prime example of doing it all. He showed a lot of energy from the opening tip-off. The Cavs are going to need this version of Jarrett Allen moving forward, not the soft one that lays back and is unaggressive. But again, I know it's a lot easier to go in there and dominate Andre Drummond than an actual center that's in their prime. So this game did not change my stance on what I think about Jarrett Allen one bit, but it was nice to see him have this kind of game. It was much needed. One connection I definitely saw right away was how Darius Garland being back impacted the bigs in a positive way. Both Allen and Mobley had good games, and really both those guys have struggled without Strus and Garland on the floor. 2 guys that create the most opportunities out of anyone on the team. And in his post-game interview, Allen talked about how good it was to have Garland out there. He said he has a large gravity around him. When people see him with the ball, everybody knows that they have to stop him to have a chance to get a stop on defense. The offense definitely flowed a lot better. There still are a lot of things we have to figure out, especially when all 3 guys in Garland, Strus, and Hunter are back. But things tonight looked good with DG at the helm of the offense. Overall, even if things weren't perfect, even if the Cavs did give up that end of the half run where the 76ers got back in the game and shortened the lead to 3, I thought the energy was way up from the first few games of the season. This felt a lot more similar to the team that we watched all of last year. I love the energy in the stadium. I love those jerseys. I wish they could almost just turn those into the permanent ones. Same with the logo. It just felt like I was 10 years old again watching the Cavs play basketball. It was so fun. And even with how well they played, they still were missing 2 key guys. Playing without Hunter and Strus is a big deal, and I think that speaks volume to how deep this team is. After the game, Kenny Atkinson spoke to the media as well, and I wanted to show you some of his thoughts and how he was feeling following the W.
Kenny, what do you think of Darius tonight in his return?
Man, he just sets us up nicely. It's just those first 7 minutes, that was Cavs basketball, you know, and it was, you know, a lot of it was started by him with the speed, like we talked about in pregame, his ability to get, you know, get advantages, and he knows what sets we want, and you know, just you know, and I know it wasn't perfect, but I think big reason our offense took an uptick tonight. He's just you know, again, just got us in our comfort zone a little bit.
That's really all I got for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point. Let me know what you guys thought about this win in the comments below. Do you think the Cavs can keep this up? Do you think they can keep the energy and tenacity up? I would really appreciate it if you let me know in the comments below, because that does boost the algorithm. It tells YouTube to push this video out to more people, and I've been struggling. I know you guys know this ever since my copyright stuff, so it's been a grind. I'm hoping I can turn things around. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.